always a lovely time for me sitting here and having a conversation around one topic or the other, provided it causes positive change to the lives of my loved ones, to the lives of Nigerians and non Nigerians alike. Today, we'll be looking at a very critical issue that is rocking the table of a whole lot of people. Almost every family has one or two of the people involved. Yes, it's true. Illicit drug abuse and substance abuse, all of that. Check yourself. If it's not your brother, your sister, your mother, your siblings, your cousins, one way or the other, it is in the family. And we begin to wonder, why are we increasingly running to these substances to give ourselves relief? And the question again is, do you actually have a relief? I don't know. I haven't tried one. Perhaps the NDLA man here, if he has sample, maybe he can let me try. You're not going to do that, right?
No, absolutely.
Okay, so let's get to know who you are.
Okay, my name is Femi Babafemi. I'm the Director of Media and Advocacy at the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maimuna Omi Abdullah, aka Coach Didi.
Okay.
My name is Joy Okwanuchi. It's good to be here this morning.
All right, it's always good to be here. But before we get started, let's quickly touch base with our VTR section and come back quickly.
Hey, doctor.
Madam, good day.
Good day, doctor.
I'm not supposed to see you until the next 2 weeks for your pelvic assessment. What are you doing here today?
Doctor, you did correct. Now, madam, not saying I can't see you today. Say you need checking.
Okay, alright. Let me just quickly check you.
Okay.
Madam, you look very pale. Are you sure you've been eating well?
Doctor, I dey eat well. In fact, I dey eat pounded yam. I dey eat eba. I dey eat fried yam and egg. I dey eat well, doctor.
How about sleeping? Do you sleep well?
Sleep? I dey sleep well, doctor. Plenty hours. I dey sleep well.
Okay, let me just have a look. Let me just check you.
Okay, doctor.
Madam, yes, doctor. From the look of things, your pregnancy doesn't seem alright because if I am not mistaken, you are 28 weeks old. Yes. But it's looking like 5 months. You know, there's something wrong. It's not the way it's supposed to be.
What is the problem?
So where's your husband?
Doctor, this one where you ask. Hi, this is my husband matter. I know you like hearing him name, but I just need to answer you. Doctor, you see, that my husband. Now God go judge us. I live am for God. Me, I just want to carry my belly, born am, finish.
Okay. Yes. Apart from that, do you take alcohol?
As my husband, they stress me so. Sometimes I go wake up morning till night, I go dey think. Now my friend come advise me say, the time where she thinks they bother her, she dey take weed, she dey take codeine and Refnol. So she come advise me say, you see that codeine? She say if I mix am inside yogurt in the morning, when I wake up when my head no dey straight, make I just mix codeine inside yogurt, drink am. Say it go make me calm.
Madam, don't you know that you are endangering your life? And your baby's life as well?
Doctor, I don't know. If Doctor say I know. I
No,
no
no,
go
no,
take
no.
am.
Like, it means you've not been attending your antenatal classes.
Doctor, I dey attend am. I dey attend am.
Because you're not supposed to be doing this. It's very dangerous. Causes stillbirth. Yes.
So I think
So many complications. From the look of things, we need to conduct an emergency operation to save your life and that of your babies. So, right now, you need to call your husband. Your husband needs to be here.
Doctor, abeg.
Calm down.
Doctor, please help me.
It's for your good, my love. Calm down. This will be
Doctor,
successful.
doctor, please.
Calm down.
Doctor, help me.
All you need to do now is just try and be strong.
Doctor,
Let your husband know the
please.
situation on ground, and then we'll conduct this
Doctor,
operation.
Okay, now you heard it. Pregnancy or no pregnancy, drugs are never allowed. Illicit drugs are never, even the one we take is not allowed if you do it wrongly. But I had a conversation during our promo, within the week actually, when our promo started running. I was trying to share that conversation with my colleagues in here, and Baba Femi actually answered me even before I aired my own thoughts on what I thought. The guy said, he was asking me if we're going to have a display on the table instead of the cookies and all the things we have of drugs so that people can identify them. I said, I don't need to have a display of drugs because I don't know them really. So at the tail end of the conversation, he said, how do you know it's wrong? I mean, if you have never seen illicit drugs, you've never used it, why do you condemn it? How do you know it's wrong? I instantly knew that this was a wrong conversation because this guy is already into it somehow. And you confirm that, right?
Most likely. Most likely.
I still intend to, I hope he's watching, I still intend to keep tab on him and see what I can do to, get him to admit, and maybe we get to give him help. But speaking of which, I would want to know, like I said, I haven't taken it before. I haven't seen real drugs, live, except what we see on TV during movies and dramas. How do I get to find out if somebody is, under substance?
Well, there are quite a lot of indicators, quite a lot of signs, but the primary confirmation of that actually comes from drug test. That's
Okay.
the primary scientific confirmation that indeed this person is abusing substance is test, and that's why at the NDLA, the chairman of the agency has been leading a campaign in the country for drug tests across all strata of our society, across the country, whether you are a student, fresh students, returning students, prospective couples, government workers, those trying to do one thing or the other. Even those aspiring for political offices, not necessarily at the highest level. Not necessarily starting at the highest level, even starting from the base, from local councils, even those who wants to be lead communities as traditional rulers. All of these people will believe because they will be leading, directing the affairs of people, and so there is the need to actually confirm that indeed they are in a good mental state, and if not, it's not as if one is trying to push them off track, but indeed, if it is confirmed that these people are already abusing illicit substances, the whole essence of the test is to get them help. But beyond the scientific proof or confirmation, there are quite a lot of other signs, like we used to say, for instance, in a home, if your child who has been very friendly, being part of the family setting in the living room, watching TV together now, as some people are at home at the moment, and suddenly the child starts withdrawing to himself or herself into the room, he or she wakes up when you people are sleeping, is awake when you people are sleeping, or is sleeping when you people are awake, or changes
in a different direction.
Yes.
Changes in the pattern the person is already, this person is already used to over time, even the eating pattern. Somebody that was not used to eating so much before and suddenly became a glutton.
The side effects is
they
get to eat
food. Make some of them to eat
or not eat at all.
Or not eat at all. So
you lose weight.
Always the flip side of what is normal, or what you think is normal. Always the flip side of what you think is normal. So those are signs, and especially when again you start seeing the person maybe coming back home so much perfumed, or so much perfumed.
Why does it need perfume?
Because of the smell.
It has a smell.
Definitely, especially those using cannabis.
And all that. Yes.
So
how do you know these names?
Because I did I'm a substance abuse coach as well, so I create awareness on substance science and symptoms, like you said, because being in the mental health sphere, my core is women mental health, and it is sad to admit many women are into drugs because of emotional distress. Most people who go into addiction go into it as a coping mechanism because they are going through challenges in their lives they cannot understand and they cannot cope with. So sometimes, depending on the people around you, that's why your network is important. They may say, okay, you cannot eat, you cannot sleep, you cannot function. Why don't you just sniff a little of this? You relax, or go and get a bottle of codeine. Take one bottle, your body will relax and you will sleep. So this woman tries it for the first time and she gets this relief she has been looking for all these years or months. She'll say, okay, let me try it again. And the thing about psychoactive drugs, you will never get the first high you got. If you got a high of 100% that first time you took it, when you take it the next time, you will not get 100%. It will be a bit less. So you think, okay, I made that first high. So you take more and more, and that's why they're called psychoactive drugs. You get addicted. Many women are into drugs, especially codeine. You see, codeine, I think that's the easiest one because especially those who have kids, it's easier to just go there and just buy a bottle for the kid. And believe me, I keep telling people, that's why I always talk about emotional intelligence and talk about things like this. I don't think somebody wakes up and says, I'm going to start doing drugs today. Does somebody really do that? You wake up in the morning and decide, it's a good day to start taking drugs.
Quite a lot of circumstances.
It's circumstances, especially emotional distress that gets people, when you don't know what to do, you're in so much pain. That's why I keep insisting, please come from a place of empathy. Come from a place of empathy.
You're going to add something?
Yes, I was, when she was talking about increasing the number of bottles, like those abusing codeine, and I know that by the time it will get to a point, codeine will no longer work for them.
You look
then
at
they try
something
to
else.
top it up with tramadol, and from tramadol then they go. That's why you find people, we've done tests for a lot of people, you find up to 5-6 different substances in their system.
Wow.
At least we had a recent exercise that I was actually leading the panel, and I saw people with 5-6 different types of substances in their system. So meaning that from one to the other, and at a point they will start combining all. And that's why you find the new psychoactive substances like squishes, what you call squishes. You find it's a concoction or a combination of a number of other illicit substances. I mean, you have, and it's actually marked with what a lot of people enjoy. That is the black urine, popularly called sobo. That's why. That's what they prepare it with. And you think, in most cases, if you are not very careful, you think you are drinking sobo. But what you have in there, it's a combination of it's a combination of cannabis with rofinol, with tramadol, with codeine. And in some cases, you have heroin and meth in there.
See.
So what you just know is you have a bottle of Zobo. But then beyond Zobo, you have the real killer in there.
I agree with you. I'm going to butt into what he just said. I had an experience. I think I must have said it here months ago. How I don't do alcohol. So it's not really easy for you to sit down with friends and they're drinking and you can take anything. And so they now said, what did I want? And they said they had palm wine. And I just felt that, okay, fine, palm wine is okay. Let me take the palm wine and all that. I'm somebody who asks questions, but this time I didn't ask a question. I just said I wanted palm wine. And I took the palm wine. And my legs started wiggling. I just noticed something was wrong.
It's laced.
It was laced. So this is where I'm coming from. I'm trying to tell you that luckily for me, I went with a friend of mine. So they had to drive me back home. What I'm telling you, what I took was not, it wasn't, the minute I just took it, it tasted like palm wine. But I knew from the system in my body. So I started drinking water. I started taking water. And after a while, I went to the bathroom. So you see, this is why I keep telling, we must have this, your brain must function very fast. This thing you have taken, is it right? Is it not right? And that's why I keep telling people, it is not safe to just go just anywhere, to just take anything. If me that are more matured can go through this kind of things, what of these little kids, Gen Zs and millennials who go out, and you go out with friends and your drinks are laced?
That's the importance of what you said earlier, that asking questions.
Yeah.
Don't just go to a party and see people drinking or eating some cookies and you pick one and start
and that's it.
Without asking, what is this made of?
Yes.
So that you know from the beginning, if they say, because there are quite a lot of parties these days that have cookies that are already
laced.
I hear they actually put inside cake.
Yes, they do. They do.
But don't worry, my cookies on the table. I can assure you.
I know that would happen in this environment.
Yes. You know, it's I won't lie to you. It's a very scary, people always say that crime has gone, over and beyond. It's not just, it didn't just happen. Because the problem is that people do not pay attention. People don't pay attention to their kids. People don't pay attention to their workers. People don't pay attention to people that are around them. Right now, there's a program going on on one of the stations. I am one person who tends to watch everything. It tells me how we're diverse and how different we are, and how the women bring the women down and the men help the women to bring us down and all that. And I just realized that people love toxic people.
It's crazy.
The toxicity.
I think I know the program you're talking about. It's just crazy.
It's killing me that when you see somebody that is toxic, then the person that is toxic has a bigger fan. Yeah. And I keep telling people, these people are bitter. They are going through stuff. And I know 85% of my mind tells me that most of them are on drugs.
True. There was something you said that when you were talking that got me thinking that a lot of women are into it, and you've actually moved in that corridor, because if I am a woman and I'm on drugs, how then will I be able to stop my children from doing it?
That's it.
And it makes me wonder, why do women go into drugs? Why do we do illicit things? Substances. You want to share?
Yeah, there are quite a lot of predisposing factors, especially for women. For instance, you have the problem of polygamy in a lot of areas, in a lot of communities. And when these some of these women are distressed, or emotionally abused, when somebody that has been with her man over the years and suddenly a new wife comes in, she doesn't get the attention of the husband as she used to. There is that emotional stress, and the only thing is, how do I cope with this? Okay. And so either she gets an advice from another friend, from a friend outside, or she figures it out, okay, I've heard of codeine, I've heard of tramadol, let me just make do with that, and gradually it becomes worse. Quite a lot of women then it's even worse again when some people who are even struggling with that challenge, they find it difficult to go out to seek for help because of stigmatization.
The culture of silence.
Yeah, the culture of silence. So they die instrumentally.
Yeah.
Where they are restricted to. That's not really. And when you have in any home, in any family where you have such a situation, it's not just the woman, it's also breeding a generation of other drug abusers, because their kids see them when they do this, or even in some cases, more often than not, it's the same kids that are sent to go and buy this.
them.
The kids are in one corner looking at the mom taking this, and the same kids are invited to come and pack the bottles away.
Yeah.
And when the kids pack the bottles to the
There'll
kitchen,
be something
they try
left
to experiment also.
Yeah.
There must be something
left
in this that their mom is enjoying.
Yeah.
So let's experiment with it. And that also starts
The cycle.
yeah, it's a cycle. And again, it leads to crime, because those kids, it gets a point when they cannot get money, or they cannot get the remnants from their home.
They want to steal.
They'll definitely resort to stealing. That's another circle of criminality. And so it's head or tail is not what we'd actually want to happen.
Okay.
I think, like he said, polygamy is one of the reasons why some women go into mental health, but there are so many other reasons.
Yeah.
Domestic violence is one of the key factors. You get battered every day, you lose your self-esteem, and somehow you feel that one of the ways you can cope with the pain is taking drugs. And then, of course, infidelity. So many women who are married to community penises end up going into drugs because they can't understand, they can't cope with the chronic infidelity of a spouse. And of course, like the culture of silence, who do you tell? You know? So, economic hardship.
Yeah, poverty.
Economic poverty is also key. You know, it's funny, isn't
No,
it?
wait. I don't have money to buy food and probably pick other bills, but I have money to do drugs.
Yes.
Poverty is central.
Yeah.
Not only to the women,
Exactly.
across.
How do I raise the money to buy other things if I can't?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That even when they cannot, when they can't raise the money, when they can't get the money, they have to go extra mile. If they have to steal, they'll steal.
They even many go
They
into
go into
prostitution.
prostitution.
That's the easiest way. You give your body in exchange for
But
drugs.
let's like you just said now, that they don't have money to
eat,
but they go into drugs. Okay, I think it just happened some weeks ago. That killed me, because I just felt like, for a parent who has to work so hard to send your kids to private universities, then you send your kids to private universities and they get a bold guy who takes them all the way to Gusape. I didn't even know that they sell drugs in Gusape.
And Zone 4.
No, Zone 4 is the common one. But I didn't know that Gusape has, it's in the list now. And
Yes, Tora Bora.
Yes, Tora Bora.
You didn't know the place?
Oh, yes, of course.
We read the play.
Yes,
it's almost on a weekly basis.
And these boys took a bolt guy to the place. They didn't have money to pay for their trip, but they had money to buy drugs. And they got there. I'm sure the guy is a smart guy, because I'm sure he must have looked at the boys. And he says, I want my money. And they went, I think they normally do fake, I have sent you. The guy said, no, I've not gotten the alert. They started fighting. And the next thing, the guy just ripped his throat and he killed the guy.
Killed the bolt guy?
He killed the bolt guy. It took a while. They've caught everybody. They told us how it happened. Because they didn't have money to pay for the trip. So you see this thing, and I know the person that killed him didn't intentionally want to kill him.
He didn't wake up that
But
morning.
because of, you see, drugs makes you do things that after you do it, you now realize, oh my God,
What have I done?
What have I done?
Because your mind has already been altered.
Yeah.
That's
because
it.
They're under the influence of mind-altering substances.
So you see, people will always look for money to buy drugs or go into armed robbery and stealing and all that. They don't care. Their main aim is, I must take this drug. This drug is what keeps me. So people really don't care.
I know that's the thing about drugs. Unfortunately, the harm it does,
Yes.
not just to you as
You-
a person,
it's
but
the
to people
environment.
around you.
Yes.
Most people who are hardcore addicts end
Yeah.
up into crime.
Yeah.
Isn't that so?
That's the truth.
That's
Armed
what we keep
robbers,
saying.
assassins, kidnappers, most of them take drugs. Because you have to have a level of nonchalant behavior, what
Yes.
only drugs can give you, to go ahead and start killing people.
When you look at the nature of criminalities across the country, whether you're talking of insurgency in the northeast, banditry in the northwest, kidnapping for ransom in north central, or no government in the southeast, or kidnapping in southwest or any part of the country, at the basis of this criminality or crimes
drugs.
is the problem of drugs. We
Drugs.
can't run away from that.
Yeah.
Because we've seen quite a lot of, there have been evidences, so there is a strongness on that. That's why for us we believe that to resolve or to end these criminalities or crime across the country, we have to remove the drug equation. And that's why we're telling everybody, look, this is not just about General Marwa, it's not about President Tinubu, it's not about NDLA, but it's about all of us, because it's a collective thing. I mean, one way or the other, we would, if we're not direct victims, somebody close to us may be victims.
Very
so
true.
that's why we all have to come together, and that's why we're pushing for a whole society approach. Everybody, what we are doing here this morning, what the NTA, what your program is doing is part of it. Providing information, educating the people, so that somewhere somebody will know, okay, this thing is actually bad.
Yeah.
And that message sticks. It goes with the message to another person. And that's how we pass the information around, sharing facts about illicit substances, so that we can, because when you look at the number of those based on the 2018 the 2018 drug survey, when you look at those who are already in that bracket, 14.3 million persons, you still have approximately about 200 million people who are not yet. So while we are trying to do everything possible to take care of these 14.3 million people, we also have to ensure that we do all we can to take care of these 200 million people, so that we don't have more people dripping into that. So that's why at the agency we take it very seriously to have a fair balance between our drug supply reduction, while we are arresting people, seizing the drugs, prosecuting the offenders. We also try to create a balance by pursuing simultaneously our drug demand reduction activities, so that to create a fair balance.
I think, and that's fantastic. I think because basically that's what the awareness is all about. Because you see, it's not about the drug use itself; it's about the causes, the underlying causes of the drug use. Because if you keep fighting drugs, drug barons, people using drugs, what about what causes them to take those drugs? Exactly. You see, for example, I've gone to a few universities to speak. The number of students who are into drugs is alarming.
Jesus.
And when I talk to parents about this, it's because you see this culture of silence.
Yeah.
We do not talk to our kids. Many people we cannot raise our kids the way we were raised, because they are living in a world that did not exist when we were children.
True.
So this, you are the father, you are the mother. No, you cannot talk. It cannot help.
No.
So we have to learn to speak to our kids. They go through challenges that we will not understand, because this Gen Z, their challenges are totally different from our challenges.
The awareness is not on their time
on the internet.
So that is why it's important to have a lot of the awareness, and I would love to also work with NDLA on that for free. Because creating awareness for people to understand that these things happen, but not just the drug abuse, but underlying causes.
That's why we're also calling for intentional parenting. A lot of parents have abdicated their responsibility.
True. But that's what I've always said.
Yeah, so
that's what I've always said.
Intentional parenting. We need to have parents doing the parenting.
No, but you see, but you know the thing. No, but you know the funny thing. It's holiday. This is holiday. I just see kids all over the place. They're either in Jabi Lake or they're driving fast cars and all that.
You see, one of the things we're doing at the moment, we're working with some of our technical partners. We're preparing this. We have test kits, which we soon make countrywide, make available countrywide, so that parents on their own at home can be using these kits on their kids, on their children.
When they make themselves available.
Yeah, of course you need to. That's why we say, like you said, quite a lot of parents are already disconnected from their kids. There is that need for that bond.
Yes.
So that I mean, in the ideal home, kids should be able to come back from a social outing to tell their parents all that happened.
Yeah.
Without holding anything back. Yeah.
You see, things have changed. When I was growing up, I used to have this funny habit of letting my friends stay outside and I come outside and see my friends. But my dad told me no. Bring them in. When I see your friends and I see people you hang around with, I know the kind of person you are. Yeah. I know what you can do. You know, people say, show me your friends and I'll tell you, and it's not true. I said, let me tell you, it's true. It's so easy when you have friends who you hang around with and they say, this thing, let's just take it. It doesn't do anything. It will just say, you know the way the country is, you need to be strong and all that. And you see the way we are. I don't understand how our mental
our brain works.
How our brain works. We know that thing is bad.
Most of us do.
We know that it's bad for us, but I don't know how it does. It's just like Coca-Cola. We're talking about Coca-Cola. And I realized that I have little kids who come around me, and my sister's kids, my brother's kids, and I notice the younger ones, the minute they take sugar, they're hyper.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
When I was a little girl, I was quite hyperactive. And I recall then the doctor would always tell my mother never to give me
sugar,
Coca-Cola. All those
all those fizzy drinks.
And then somehow DNA passes on. My last child too was like that. And somehow I got the same advice from a doctor. And I remember when they give other people all those sweet drinks, they give me juice, the natural one to drink, because I was naturally very hyper. People are sitting down and suddenly tells me to stand up. I stand up. I don't walk. I run.
I had all that.
And I also had one like that too. So I had to use the same. In fact, at the point when she was in school, the teacher would write very intelligent but very restless. One of the days I walked in there, I said, "Please stop spoiling this report."
With restless.
She'll be okay.
Okay.
Can I add to what you said?
Come down.
Yes.
You mentioned something about, it's bad for you, why do you take it?
Yeah.
Like I told you, I don't think people wake up and say today is a good day to start taking drugs.
It
doesn't work like that. Most people, I'm not saying everyone.
Yeah.
Most people who end up becoming drug addicts have gone through emotional distress.
Yes, I know.
Chronic stress.
Yes.
Usually when you're going through this, you don't think rationally, because it affects the way you think, feel, and behave.
Yeah.
All you want is how to cope with it.
Yes.
And this culture of silence we have that you cannot tell people what you're going through because of village people mentality. They will laugh at me or they will da. So you can't tell anyone.
No, it's society. It's our society.
So sometimes you feel that is a way you can cope with what you're going through.
But
that's why we also at the NDLA we also thought, okay, because of this this fear of stigmatization or being judged, the agency has to provide a call line.
Okay.
Where people can sit in the comfort of their homes and to make it even easier, the line is toll free. You are not paying a dime for the call.
Fantastic.
We have there psychiatric doctors, we have psychotherapists, we have psychologists, counselors, and mental health experts of all fields. We have them there 24/7.
Okay, so what was the number? Do you have it?
0800 1020 3040.
Wow. Take it again.
0800
0800
yes 1020 3040.
Okay.
Anybody can call that, and even if you are an illiterate, you can't speak English or
you
Pidgin,
have other people.
They can talk to you in Hausa, Igbo, and Yoruba.
Okay, so my director asks that you call the number again.
Okay,
so
0800.
You'll be slower now.
Okay,
be intentional.
Okay. The toll-free helpline, the NDLA toll-free helpline is 0800 10203040.
Okay, we'll quickly take a break now. When we come back, the show will be continuing, and I intend to ensure that we get to know some of those substances within our homes that we are abusing and using the wrong way. Meanwhile, they could be useful in their own ways. Let's get to find out, because that's actually the takeoff point for a lot of people. But before we do that, let's quickly take a break.
Although social media as a channel of communication is inherently harmless, it becomes harmful and damaging when used without discretion and thoughtfulness. Bad social media users spread rumors and fake news without verification. But good social media users stop, reflect, and verify information before sharing it. Be a good social media user. Stop the spread of fake news. Verify the authenticity of your source and use social media responsibly for a better Nigeria. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA, in collaboration with the National Orientation Agency.
Okay, so we want to go deep down, but you have the right to whatever you want to ask on our lines, and then get to write it and we read it out for you. We don't take calls, by the way, just text messages. Before we took that break, I was asking, what are the things we can actually, get high wrongly on? Even though I recall that a lady I know abused ordinary coffee, she kept taking it. Her parents didn't know. I didn't know. We're all in school together until when she, turned off completely in exam hall. We found out that she had taken so much of the caffeine and it affected her. What are those things we take within the home? Because as long as I'm concerned, those are usually the starting points. From the tea, whatever it is, what are those things we can actually get high on, unintentionally?
Well, let's start from the one we believe is not harmful, that is not even illicit. We have to start from alcohol.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, alcohol, the beer, that people, the wine that a lot of people take.
Mr. Femi, a lot of men will throw stones at you.
Yeah, it doesn't matter, but we have to say the truth. We have to say the truth. That because a lot of people don't regard it or see it as drug, but indeed, this alcohol is a drug. So that is usually the beginning. But beyond that, let's look at, for instance, there is a particular substance called nitrous oxide.
What's that?
Laughing gas. The popular name on the street is laughing gas. Laughing gas is something that also it's supposed to be harmless. It's actually used for medical purposes in surgery, especially in dentistry, when people are undergoing going through some minor surgery to remove their teeth or to go through some minor surgery.
Okay, that's stuff that makes you numb.
Yeah, it just disconnects you from the pain.
Yes.
That kind of a thing. But then we started seeing that some party goers, fun seekers started abusing this, where they put it in balloon. When you see balloon in their hands, you think they are playing with balloon like what we used to do in those old days, playing with balloon, just blowing and playing with balloon. But in their own case,
there's something inside.
There's something inside. They have, they have the gas inside the balloon, and then over time again, we started noticing that celebrities, artists started promoting it, glorifying it, glamorizing it. And at that point, the agency saw that indeed there was this trend was already getting out of hand.
So what does it do? I mean,
makes you high.
It makes you high. That's why it's called laughing gas. Just gives you
so if I take it, I just keep
excitement.
Laughing.
You're excited.
That's euphoric.
You forget your problem.
Everything. You're excited.
It's a momentary thing.
Yeah.
And that's why they take as many canisters as possible. Just to keep that highness and
all that.
But then they forget that there's danger in it, because that thing is like blocking you inhaling oxygen.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, because you have to start taking that, and in the process of that, especially in parties where they take these things with the doors locked, there is limited oxygen in there, and you keep inhaling. You are not inhaling. You are not taking oxygen. Instead, this gas, over time, some of them could get numb, and before you know it
affects your organs.
Yes, organs.
You will definitely, because when you're going to do a dentist job, they actually numb you.
Yeah.
If you touch the place, you don't feel anything.
There was a guy.
And you put this inside your system.
When we came out with the chairman directed that all the commands, all the formations of the agency should go all out anywhere they find the non-medical ones. The non-medical.
They should.
The ones they are using for recreational, they should seize them. And we went all out for them. In one single seizure, like I said offline, we had 3 containers from just one person at that moment. 3 containers.
Like 40 feet, 20 feet?
Yes.
That's a lot of money.
In Apapa in Lagos. We intercepted that. We intercepted some in Imo, Owerri. That's Owerri, Imo State. And even the guy that was linked to the one in the shipment in Lagos, by the time we moved him to Abuja to check his warehouses and homes in Abuja here, we also still recovered these things. So now we have to be very proactive and pragmatic about this, because even though this thing may not have been classified as illicit, but then in the interest of public safety and the interest of those that are abusing this without knowing the dangers, the implications of what they are abusing. So the chairman had to direct that we should go all out for it, and we've been able to make good arrests and good seizures, and we're working with other government agencies on how to get this off the counter, so that because recently, after we went all out for this for them, somebody shared his experience. I read it online. The young man said he was outside Lagos. He came to Lagos to see his friends, and so they told him they were going to take him to a club in the night.
What did I say?
Take him to the club. They took at the entrance of the club. He met somebody who sold that inside the club. This is what people take. So sold the canisters with the balloon to him.
So you
and by
see
the
what I
time
say?
he got in, took the thing, he just said at a point he couldn't find his legs.
Yeah, that's
see
it.
his legs, and he couldn't see his legs
because he's never been on drugs.
Gradually, he started losing breath. Yeah, so that's how it goes. It runs, and he said it's online. If you Google it, you'll see it. It's online. He said he had to quickly rally his friends who took him to the club. They had to take him out urgently to seek for medical. So that's the danger, and that's why we say that quite unfortunately we have those who are supposed to be role models to the young ones, to our Gen Zs. Yeah, they are the ones coming online, but indeed we tried. We have issued a warning. We have our eyes on them. You cannot if you want to die, just die alone. Don't mislead.
You came alone, actually.
Yeah, don't mislead millions of people who look up to you as their role model. You mislead them by coming online to be blowing in the name of promoting your music, in the name of promoting your art. No, you are making money you are trying to make money at the expense of the lives of innocent people.
It's unfair.
There's another one that people just say. I just think that sometimes people want to belong. I don't drink. I don't see anything wrong with that. But I knew growing up, they said I was a bush girl and all that. So sometimes people want to belong.
Are you sure you are?
No, that's what. No, okay. That was what was. Okay, that was what was said. Oh, she doesn't drink. She's this. She's that. You see, some other people can't take it. They want to belong to this category of. They are the ones happening. Like
what's up, guys?
What's up, babes, and what's up, guys? I go to places and I see young girls taking shisha. All over the place.
It's a common thing now.
Yeah, but shisha is dangerous.
Yeah. Is it dangerous?
It is dangerous.
Beyond that, they even mix.
They mix those things are mixed up.
They lace it.
They lace it.
That's why we also go after them in this Abuja.
Yeah.
I know quite a lot of
they're everywhere.
But there's so many lounges in Abuja that do shisha.
No, but
we have a way of gathering information
and all that.
Even tea, ordinary tea.
Yes.
We've gone to parks where ordinary tea they are laced with cannabis.
Hey.
Even sometimes I heard that their food, their certain meals they give you, they are laced. You see, it's only God that is going to save us.
So you guys are making me more
but that
scared.
is why. But the thing is that we have to be aware, because if I eat something and I'm feeling funny, I already know that it's about time to stop. And there's another one that people, energy drinks.
Yeah.
Energy drinks are killing people. People say it is for energy, it's killing people. They can say it's not a drug, but for me, I say that it
has high caffeine.
Anything in
It
excess
has
actually
high
can
caffeine. If you're not burning out,
let me also tell you something about this this energy thing. And young people also go above and beyond to mix them with tramadol. Now you have something that has caffeine. Now you are mixing with tramadol, meaning that you are placing your organs under immense pressure, working so hard
kidney,
at
the
every
liver.
organs. So before you know it, and some of them they say they are using it to delay ejaculation during sex. Yeah, during that we have quite a lot of instances and experiences like that. They want to use it to delay ejaculation, and that's why they take it. But then they forget that they are overworking their organs. Those drugs overwork their organs, and before you know it, is in the course of trying to do, you just hear somebody dies on a woman or collapses.
Heart attack.
The woman has killed her.
Yes, there is a particular one.
It's terrible.
Somewhere in the northeast, I won't mention the specific state. Actually, the family called and said the young man, a young man under 30, got married, got married to 2 wives. It's actually his brother that was telling us this, and that for him to be able to cope, satisfy him, he had to start. It actually a conversation that came in on our Twitter space. We normally have this conversation with the young people, the Gen Z on Twitter, now X space, every Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. So that's where we engage with them to let them know, to educate them about these things. And the brother called in from a northeast state and said, look, this is what his younger brother is going through. He just got married to 2 wives. Now to be able to cope, to satisfy them.
Just 30.
Yeah, only one under 30. He wasn't even up to 30.
No, but have you seen the ratio of the very young ones who are having heart attacks and having all the organ failures?
It's because of these drugs they abuse. And that we tell them, we educate them to let them know that these things, you are not doing yourself any good by taking these things. Instead, you are destroying your organs. And before you know it
completely,
the organs are packed up.
We have a lot of messages coming in. I don't know. Let's see. How can one stop drugs, please? Okay, Coach Didi, I'll let you hang on with that, but let's see. You can take many more before we continue. Mr. Femi, what is your agency doing as regard open hard drug sales in Festac? The area in questions are behind Festac Market in 23 Road and Federal Housing area football field. Is very alarming. Quicker action needs to be taken.
Fantastic.
That's from Alhaji Buba. That's for you. Let's take this one again. The phone number given by the NDA official in the studio now contains 12 digits.
Yeah.
As against the 11 digits.
No, that's
Please confirm
if
the number is correct. Thanks for a very enlightening program. Okay, you already heard the number is correct, but let's quickly answer those questions before I take another one. Brief.
Okay, the first thing we appreciate, and that's exactly what we enjoy as citizens. Everybody, wherever you are, if you see it, tell us. That line, that toll-free helpline, it's also available. If you have information, we have desk officers at the call center that take this information, or you come to our DM or give us this information, like the one he has given us now. I can tell him, but I know that in those areas, I can tell you, I can give you the map of those spots right on my palm, so I know those places, and I know that every time you see the people selling these drugs, they are mobile.
Yes.
Okay. They stay here 5 minutes.
Yes,
and
then
the next, because you mentioned there are some people who trail to Gwagwalada. Before you know it, the next 30 minutes you hear they are in zone 4.
Yes.
So they are mobile, they are not, and a lot of them, we raid them, we arrest them, we seize these drugs. But then again, we also have undercover agents around those places that keep a tab, monitoring anytime they have supplies.
We need to, because my mother used to say, when a bird learns to fly without perching, the hunter learns to shoot without missing.
But we are sure the person that I like to go that indeed, I'll send the right, I'll send information to the right department.
All right, Alaji, your message is taken. Quickly, somebody who is on drug, who wants to get
what I would say is that I am a mental health coach, so what I do is mental health awareness. I'm on Instagram as Coach Didi. I can now link you up with people who are specialized in that, because it's not just usually psychiatrists and psychologists are the ones you see. But the most important thing is when you're ready, you want to really do something about it.
You have to be determined.
Yeah, you have to be the one who wants it, because I've seen so many people that have been taken to rehabilitation centers, and they come back and continue the drug abuse. So this is beautiful that
you must be determined to
for him to even raise this alarm. It simply means that he's ready.
And there are a lot of women who have kids. There are a lot of women who are having kids who are into drugs.
Yeah, and they come to the system.
It's a lot.
Postpartum depression.
Yeah, and it is getting alarming. We don't talk about it because it's supposed to be, it's okay.
No. We're going to have that conversation on this
very
set
important.
Real soon.
Yes.
Let's quickly have this. Action speaks louder than words. We commend the present NDLA actions this time of Tinubu. But I suggest that NDLA to set up anchor youths at the grassroots network to reduce drug abuse. Chike Kano from Abia State. Thank you, Chike. Let's see. I love your conversations. Please, what to do to treat E. coli sickness? From Pastor Uche. I don't know.
What's E. coli?
Okay. Dr. Femi, your agency should focus more on clubs and lounges in Nigeria. These are the agents of distributing hard drugs in Nigeria. I think you already said
we just arrested distributors to the highbrow, the VIP clubs in Lagos just about 2 weeks ago, and the operation is still ongoing. In fact, the Lagos government agency is partnering with the agency on that at the moment.
Okay, good morning, House. My question is that what are the impacts of the federal government on these bad drugs? Can't it be totally cancelled? He's asking.
You can't control
you
that.
Can't control that.
Okay. All right, please, what is the best way and method to quit smoking cannabis? Thank you. I'm enjoying your program so much. You didn't give us your name, but let's quickly give help to these people. It's more than one person asking the same question. If I'm already involved, you already told me the first step is me to take the determination that I don't want to do it.
Yes.
Okay, then the next step again, I can call your toll line.
Seek help, yes.
Seek help.
Okay.
The moment you are determined, seek help. Yeah, and if you have to go to
professional help.
Yes, professional help. If you have to go to a rehab center where you have counselors, these experts, go in there. If you are not ashamed to go in there, and if you are ashamed to go in there, call that toll-free helpline. They will assist you. Some of them just need counseling. And so we have experts on that line who would take you on what we call teletherapy over a period of time and guide you. And if they follow you up, they also follow up, call you back to see how you are doing. And if they see that your matter is, rather than getting better, is getting worse, then they will guide you to the nearest rehab center.
Okay, so what I just wanted to get is that I can actually call the toll-free number. Can you run that number again by us?
080-010-203040.
Okay, I know it's on the screen as well. Just for those of us who may not be able to capture the numbers correctly, you also listen and pick it right. Call the number, whatever help you're looking for, you will definitely have a starting point for yourself. The last question here says, great job. Kindly invest on awareness creation in places of worship and schools, please. Places of worship and schools.
We go there.
Yes,
we go
very
to churches,
important.
I want to know what is drug doing in the house of the Lord?
They are
No,
it's the people that go to attend it.
But that is not to say that we don't have.
Yes.
I don't want to mention names. At the moment, we have the general overseer of a church is on the run in Port Harcourt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And his wife. Yes.
Yeah, she's on the run. Yeah. It's because she's linked to a cartel. And we went after them. She's on the run at the moment. So it's not about that. But then primarily, why we go to those places is to address the members of the church, the congregation, because we know in this part of the world we
have respect for churches.
for churches.
Right.
We are very
religious leaders. Our time is almost up. We have half a minute.
I want to emphasize the fact that as parents, honestly, we have to be vigilant. Like he said, intentional parenting. Please take note. Look at the changes your children are going through. And there's this trick we teach parents. See, there's no way you can be sure. When they ask me, I want to be sure my child is on drugs, I cannot know. Okay. Because even the signs and symptoms can be something else. But you can take it for a test when you have slight have malaria. While they are doing malaria tests, please test.
Yeah.
All right, that's it, and that's where we wrap it up for today. We hope that we've been able to touch your soul, touch your hearts, touch your person to change for good. Please, if you do not understand what party you've been invited for, you don't need to go.
True.
I don't socialize that much. Everybody knows that, and I haven't lost a thing. I'm cool, staying on my bed all alone. All right, I'll see you again.
Bye.
Bye.